surprising. Please do us the honor of visiting our vessel.
I love my people, but hate how they act. Saying they love their history, but they're calling it black. Won't overstand that, the law won't back your claim as African with a name like Jack. To them, you're either dumb or your brain's numb. White trash are the niggas, so you're just a bum. Stateless and frontin' with your faking nation. NAACP founded by Jews of Satan. Hebrew has no J, Harlem Jews were Moors, and all the knowledge he uses against you is yours. From the dollar pyramid to the compass and squares, popes using more heads, but you saying it's theirs. Begging for reparations with crocodile tears. Calling yourself black, become property of theirs. Clear the ignorance, get your mind better. Like Master Adam Moore's humbled Sarnetta. New member of humanity, they are clever. Got God stuck in earth using Gucci sweaters. Got goddess getting nails done and doing slave runs with 2 ears pierced, but we'll call him your gay son. Dying for lack of knowledge, only that would save him. Not rapping blood clot dummies played on the stations. They need to wake up and stop acting pagan. They need to get their thinking added and not layman. Don't think it's hate, it's tough love. Don't think it's peace with a white dove. Don't think it's truth, then show me the lie. I won't hold my breath waiting, cause I might die. Don't think it's hate, it's tough love. Don't think it's peace with a white dove. Don't think it's truth, then show me the lie. I won't hold my breath waiting, cause I might die.
For this conversation, man. You know, like basically, me and you, we did a couple streams together, a couple builds, and for the most part, man, I think that you've been doing a good job covering the Moorish thing. Like everybody know, I've been real outspoken about that whole like status correction and sovereign and all of these different things where people is trying to legally, stake some type of claim to sovereignty. Like I've been one of the ones saying, like, at the end of the day, you know, these people make the rules up as they go. So even if the rules is, or if the laws is in agreement to some of the things that people are trying to push, they'll change and snatch them from up under you at any given time. But like I think like the way that you documenting these, them getting pulled over and some of the other stuff, I think is real dope because it's showing people in real time that this shit is not working.
Now, they're talking about this Moorish thing, right? I don't know what that is. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm a Moorish American, and I don't know what Moorish thing is. But this is how these agent provocateurs use their little platforms to attempt to make Moors look like, you know, the Moorish thing doesn't work. The Moorish thing doesn't work. What are they really addressing? Because if their claim is that the Moorish thing doesn't work, right? We have to ask ourselves, well, what does work? Because there's nothing other than the Moorish thing. Right? They continue to classify this as doesn't work. Now, if you aren't the individual who knows how to run the chainsaw, if you don't know how to run the chainsaw and, you know, trees look all jacked up or whatever like that, you can't tell the guy with the chainsaw, hey, you don't know what you're doing, because look at all those trees. All the trees are jacked up. You don't know what you're doing. Why are you even doing that when you don't even know how to use a chainsaw? Same thing with people who aren't Moors. If you're not Moors, according to y'all, because we know that Moor is any dark-skinned person, especially African Negro. The people who say that they're quote-unquote slaves in America are the only people in the world classified as Negroes. So an African Negro or any dark-skinned person would be classified as a Moor by definition of what a Moor is. Not people's incompetent mindset, but what it actually is. Do not ever think that somebody who is lacking knowledge in a subject is an expert in it. Do not think that somebody who hates basketball is going to tell you about who's good and who's bad or whatever. Why would they even care? Why would they even have an opinion if they don't like this thing? If they have an issue with Moors, why are they even talking about it? Why are they even bringing it up? Oh, well, we're bringing it up because, we have to expose that this doesn't work. But how do you know it doesn't work? You're not part of it. How are you saying that something doesn't work when you're not part of it? How are you telling people that key is not going to work in that car when that's not your car or your key? Like, what are you basing it on? You haven't tried to be a Moor to know whether it works or not. So there's no way that you can claim that it works or doesn't work. But again, these are the black identity extremists. These are the individuals who absorb or take on or claim to be black Africans, conscious, but really they're incompetent. Really, they're minors. Really, they really don't have a claim. The only claim that they have is their feelings and their emotions. That always comes up when the Moors are around. Why? Because they know that this is where it's at. They know that this is where it's at. If this wasn't where it's at, they wouldn't be going so hard at Moors. But they're not saying nothing about highwaymen. They're not saying nothing about anything that's really affecting their people. Like, they say nothing about it. All they want to do is make Moors look like we don't know what we're talking about. Make Moors look like, oh, Moors get pulled over, Moors get arrested, Moors this, Moors that. If you keep thinking that somebody who never showed their face, Javen Bullets, somebody who only exists on YouTube, they don't exist in real life. Like, we have a Moorish Science Temple of America that you can actually go to the building where we exist as Moors. What's Javen Bullets got? Has he ever took you to anywhere other than somebody else's stuff that he's, yellow journalists reporting at somebody else's event? Do they ever do their own stuff, or are they always lapdogging, right, or piggybacking? Because we know that these people are, dead as eaters and stuff like that. They're not even interested in holistic health. We know, right? These individuals that make these claims, clearly they don't know what they're talking about. How do we know that? Because we're Moors, and we're the ones out here getting arrested. We're the ones out here facing highwaymen. We're the ones out here going into these so-called courts, standing on our squares, regardless of whether it's arrested or we get dismissed. Because this is life. This is not some try it and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we're not going to be Moors. We're Moors. You're Moors. If you don't want to be Moors, cool. Be dumb niggers. It's cool. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing, ain't no big deal. Guaranteed. That the only reason these people talk about Moors is because being Moor is popular now. Having a nationality is something that people have never ever considered as far as our people are concerned. But now, because of Moors like Taj Tariq Bey, because of Moors standing up for their nationality and birthrights, it's allowing other people to see that, wow, this is real. Not that it doesn't work, or not that it works, or whatever. That's irrelevant. The point is, these people in the world know who the Moors are. These people in the world know that there's no such thing as black people. So if the world knows that there's no such thing as black people, and the world knows that everybody who's dark-skinned, especially an African Negro, is a Moor, then somebody's playing you.
Yes, it's not working. And another thing, these laws that they're citing and stuff, they're not correct. Like, they're misciting things, they're mixing and matching stuff. They don't understand what they're reading. So that's why they're coming up with all these crazy kookamani interpretations.
No. Moors don't understand what we're reading. But conscious people are going to call themselves black. When black is an adjective, which means it can't identify a noun, it's a descriptive term. And all these people that call themselves black are brown or dark brown. None of them are black, but they call themselves black. And Moors are the ones who can't read. Moors are the ones who aren't interpreting properly. Think about this. We have people that call themselves Moors. Then you have people that call themselves black. The black people are saying the Moors are not interpreting things properly. When the black people are brown people, the black people look just like me. Same kind of nose, same kind of lips. The black people look like me. But they don't look like their hair, which is black. But they call themselves black. You tell me that's not incompetence? You tell me that's not stupidity? Huh? Isn't that stupidity? To call yourself an adjective when you know that you're a noun. Proper noun on top of that. You know that you're a noun, but you're calling yourself an adjective. Incompetence at its finest. And where is it coming from? The so-called conscious people who claim that they know something and they claim that they know this and don't know that when they don't know jack. Why? Because they're always in their emotions and their feelings. Instead of going and studying, they're in their emotions and their feelings. A Moor says something, oh, you can't go with that because the Moor stuff doesn't work. And the emotions and feelings. 2 hours, these guys on here talking about Moors. 2 hours? Nobody once ever said, let's look up Moor and see what it means. Let's look up anything that we're talking about and see what it means. No looking up stuff? That means that people are incompetent. That means people are illiterate. When they don't read things, and they're telling you that Moors are misinterpreting things, but the people claiming that the Moors are misinterpreting are calling themselves an adjective when they're really supposed to be nouns. That is called incompetence. That is called stupidity. And once you fall into that category, don't think anybody's going to come help you, which is why nobody's helped black people, which is why Taj Tariq Bey told all these so-called conscious coons on their own channel that nobody respects black people. And they didn't do anything about it. They sat there. Tariq Bey on Sa Nigger's own platform told him, Sa Netter, you're a journalist, but it would be wise if you tell the people the truth instead of playing with them. What did he do? He went out and started playing with people instead of telling them the truth. But you guys don't get it, huh? You keep wanting to be YouTube followers of YouTube celebrities who are cowards and clowns.
Now, basically, what made you start, you know what I mean, addressing the whole Moorish thing?
What made me start addressing it is because I seen that it was a problem from when I first bumped into the conscious community. Like, I seen every other group, and it was like I was listening, it was cool. But it's like, even though I didn't agree with everything they were saying, it was like, all right, cool. I see these groups. But it was the Moors that they was talking that really got my antennas up. And I'm like, oh no, they got to go. Because other groups may be promoting some things that we may say is pseudo, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's about belief. Belief is not going to hurt anybody, especially if you're not telling somebody to do something illegal. Like, we got people who don't believe in the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. The Hebrew Israelite doctrine on its face is not dangerous.
Right now, this is how you know that he's a liar. Because Moors study that there's 3 steps: belief, faith, and fruition. Belief is what man thinks he knows is true. Thinks he knows. Faith is man knowing the truth. And fruition is man being the truth. Moors are masters of fruition. That's why we don't give a shit what you guys say about the fez. We wear the fez with pride. And when we wear the fez, everybody acknowledges it as dignitary. Princes wear those. Kings wear those. People in government wear those. You don't hear them talking about that's bucket hats and that came from the Turks and all that stuff. You don't hear the people in the world talk about the fez like that. The only people that talk like that are Negro, black, colored, conscious, jackass coons who want to be popular on YouTube. That's the only people that talk like that. We showed you the video of the Sri Lankan Moor who ran up to us to find out how to buy a fez because he hasn't seen a fez in 20 years. But what Moors are saying is a joke. This doesn't work. You know, it's cool. You can have that opinion. We're not mad. Don't think that you know, we're doing these videos because we're mad at black guys who don't want to be Moors. We already know that those jackasses are Moors, that they're the biggest sellouts on the planet because they don't want to be who they are. We know that. We're doing this to teach people who have a little bit of common sense left, because common sense isn't common, right? Our people call themselves black when that's an adjective. Our people call themselves African when that's a continent. Our people call themselves everything except Moors. And none of those things identify our people. So trust that we could give a shit what these people say. But trust me, they're not just going to be able to say things and then we don't rebut or make any type of claim when they talk. And the only reason that we make a claim is because we know that these people are out here to spread confusion with regard to what it means to be a Moor. And trust me, only Moors know what it means to be a Moor. A black guy doesn't know what it means to be a Moor. A Hebrew Israelite doesn't know what it means to be a Moor. An Egyptologist doesn't know what it means to be a Moor. A Pan-African, a Garveyite, a Rastafarian. Only Moors know what it means to be Moors. So as soon as people who say, well, we're not Moors, and they're trying to tell you what Moors are and what works and what doesn't work in the Moorish paradigm, those people are playing you. Because how are they going to know what it is if they're not that? Use your fucking common sense. How are they going to know what it means to be a Moor, what works, what doesn't work, when they're not part of it? They're basing it on they saw somebody put up a video, they got arrested, so that means Moors get arrested. No, jackass. That doesn't mean that. You don't know what that means. Anything could be the reason why that person got arrested. Anything could be the reason. Has absolutely nothing to do with them being Moor or saying that they're Moor, given nationality card or whatever. Could be any reason. Dude could be having a bad day. And he just decides to, this is the individual who he's going after. He doesn't care whether they got a license or not. This is a highwayman. Their job is to rob people on the side of the street. That's their only job. Rob people on the side of the street. Highwayman. Look it up. Prove me wrong. Prove me that they're all these so-called conscious black whoever that keep giving these people the authority of an officer by calling them police officer and law enforcement and military and army, but then bitch and complain when these people use the same power that they gave them against them. When they should be calling them highwaymen. Take away their power. Call them policy enforcer because they're not police. Their job is to serve and protect the private corporations that people think are cities, especially Negro, black, colored, conscious people. They don't know that those corporations. They think that city of is a government, and state of is a government, and United States of is a government, when all those are corporations. Canada's a corporation, city of Toronto's a corporation. Out here, there's a city called Mississauga. On their tickets, it says the corporation of the city of Mississauga. There's a place out here called Markham. On their tickets, it says the corporation of the city of Markham. But Moors don't know what we're talking about because, we're stupid. Moors are stupid. And then the people who call themselves an adjective, they're smart. Does that make sense to you? Everybody else in the world identifies themselves as coming from some type of country. Negro, black, colored people come from a continent. And you're telling me that those people are credible? You're going to listen to them? You're just as stupid as those people if you're listening to them. And keep in mind, this is just 7 minutes into this BS. 2 hours these people were here talking. 2 hours. And they're not Moors? So why are they talking about Moors for 2 hours if they're not Moors? Shouldn't they be talking about black things? Like, what are they really trying to bring attention to if they're not Moors and this doesn't work? Right? Why are they stressing the point? To try to convince you that this doesn't work? To try to convince you that being Moor doesn't work? Think about it. They're trying to convince you that being Jew is devil worship or whatever. Are they Jew? How do they know? Or they're not Jews. They're black people. Okay, so why are they talking about Jews? Why are they bringing Jews up? Why are they even making any reference to something that they're doing that's wrong if they're not in it? Now, Moors have nationalities and have religions. There are Moors who do study Kabbalah, Judaism, whatever, that they know that those people aren't Jews. They can talk about it because they know who the real Jews are. Not just because of opinion, but because they're part of it. They call themselves Israelite. So if anybody should be talking about what's right as far as Jews or whatever, it should be only Israelites. Because they're the ones who are making that claim. You talk about Egyptology, it should be only the people who are involved in that make that claim. Not of outside people telling Egyptologists what hieroglyphs mean. They have no connection to being quote unquote Egyptian. They don't study that. They don't like what they teach. They're all animal head people and stuff like that. But they're the expert when the debate comes on what's wrong with Kemet. They're not part of it. How are they supposed to know what's wrong with it if they're not part of it? But this is the game that people play constantly, especially with Moors. And again, it's cool because nothing you dicks say is going to make me give up my birthright and any other Moors out here who I think study. We're not giving up our birthright because you said that Moors get arrested or something happens to Moors or Moors sold out the black race, so we're not going to be Moors? Fuck out of here, you stupid ass.
And it's not going to lead to somebody getting hurt. Like the Hebrews don't preach that you got a right to take over this house and nobody can't tell you got a right to take over this house. Nor do the NOI, nor do the Kemetic people or whoever else. The Moors are the ones telling people that they have a right to do certain things, and if you can do these things which are illegal and you will get hurt and you can get killed or get...
Illegal says who? Says the white man. Says the cracker. Says the beast. Says the devil. So hold on, I thought you guys are against the beast system. How are you against the beast? You're against the white man, you're against the cracker, but then when Moors stand up against the laws that these crackers and these white men and these beasts create, we're doing stuff illegal. Again, think. If they're, right, Javen Bullets reps RBG. He has the freaking flag on his stuff. All right. So if he reps RBG, then that means they're against the white man. They're against colonialism. They're against European using powers to discriminate or violate the rights of dark-skinned people. They're supposed to be against the beast system. But they're telling you that the Moors are doing stuff illegal when the thing that is creating the laws that they're saying Moors are violating comes from the white man. Wouldn't that mean that these guys are sellouts? If they're telling you the Moors aren't following the law. What law are you talking about? Javen Bullets? Like, what law are we not following? When you say Moors claim houses and Moors take over houses and they're doing that illegal, what law are you basing that on, that this is illegal? And who created that law? I bet you it was a white man or a cracker. So these guys, who you guys rep, are siding with the cracker laws, but they're repping RBG flags. They're siding with the cracker laws, but they got their fists up and talking about they're not standing for an anthem. If they're not standing for an anthem, but they got a license. They're not standing for an anthem, but they got a social insurance number. They're not standing for an anthem, but they got some European brand name shoes on. They're not standing for the anthem, but they're calling highwaymen police officer. They're not standing for the anthem, but they're telling you that Moors are doing things illegal. Illegal based on what? Think, you dumbass. What is illegal? What are they using to say Moors are doing stuff illegal? Are they using African laws? Are they using Kemetic laws? Are they using conscious community laws? Are they using Hebrew Israelite laws? No, they're using cracker, white man, white supremacy laws. So if they're saying Moors are illegal because we're violating white supremacy, cracker, European laws, wouldn't that mean that they work with the crackers? Wouldn't that mean that they're on the cracker side? You start thinking it? Hello? You start thinking yet, or you still don't get it? Okay, let's go some more, because maybe you don't get it yet.
And it's fake and it's getting them hurt. Because a lot of times they get them hurt because they actually will try to fight back with the police. This is why they said about the black identity extremist thing when they was very specific about the laws and talking about how they are a threat to law enforcement, because these people will actually try to fight law enforcement thinking that this cop is not obeying the law, he's not really a cop, and he's trying to kidnap me. Like, they really believe that.
So, again, belief, faith, and fruition. Moors who study and who exercise in their life as Moors, they do not believe or have faith. They are masters of fruition. Moors who are active and they have identification cards that say that they are Moors, they do not believe. Because in belief, in faith, belief is lost in faith. And in fruition, faith is lost. But you have to get to fruition in order for belief and faith to be lost. And the only way you're going to get to fruition is if you be what you know. Javen Bullets is not being what he knows. Sixth Dynasty whatever is not being what he knows. They Kemetic whatever, but they got Chicago Cubs baseball hat on. Isn't that a cracker team or whatever? I thought you guys are Black Power or whatever. I thought you guys are somebody that is supposed to be against the system. If you're against the system, why are you going at individuals who are challenging the system? There's no way, nowhere, that Moors tell people when they get stopped by a highwayman, fight with them. Anybody who says that they're a Moor and they're going blows or toe-to-toe with a highwayman in the middle of a street is a goddamn idiot. That's a stupid-ass Moor. Any Moor who doesn't follow the protocol of call the superiors. Why the hell are you talking to a highwayman when you should be talking to the highwayman superior? Why is there hair in your food and you're arguing with the cashier? Why are you arguing with the cashier? Call the goddamn manager. What are you arguing with the cashier for? What's the cashier supposed to do? What type of authority does the cashier have? Same thing. What type of authority does a highwayman have who's a policy enforcer when there's a boss that he has that you can call them and they'll come on the scene? It's not like they won't come on the scene. When you call them, they'll come on the scene. And then you talk to that individual. Or, take the goddamn tickets, deal with it in the court. Ain't no big deal. Because when we go to court, we're going to beat them up with the same law that these people are saying that, we're violating, we're doing illegal stuff and all that stuff. Right? There's no Moors that go out there and fight highwaymen. That's a lie. Don't listen to this clown. People who you see that they recorded their traffic stop and they got effed up and they still uploaded it. You think they're not Moors because they got effed up? You think, oh, they got beat up, so now they're not Moors? Or they got tickets, so now they're not Moors? Highwayman did something, so they're not Moors. Oh no, they're still Moors. Why? Because this is bloodline. This is birthrights. This is nationality. You can't take somebody's nationality away because you gave them a ticket. And somebody can't give their nationality away because they got a fine. It's asinine. But asinineness comes from incompetent, conscious, black people like Javen Bullets who, calling yourself Bullets. You have Bulla Man or something? Or what? Where we come from, once you talk about bull anything, you're homo. If you're talking about bull anything, because bull where I come from is homosexuality. We call you bulla man. That where we come from, a bulla man is a homosexual. Anybody talking about bull anything, you're riding the fence and enjoying it. Anybody, right? I'm talking to you, Javen Bullets. Not talking to anybody else. You, homoerotic, always have something wrong with Moors. Always have something wrong. Make all these videos about the Moors are doing stuff wrong and Moors doesn't work, and all these videos of people getting pulled over or whatever like that. If you're exposing Moors getting pulled over by highwaymen and you're cheering for the highwayman, yeah, highwayman, get those Moors, doesn't that mean you work for the cracker, you dumbass? And all you dumbasses that listen to him? If a Moor uploads a video of him getting his ass kicked and the individual getting their ass kicked, after they upload the video, doesn't come out and say, forget that Moor stuff, it doesn't work or whatever like that, they're probably still Moors, even though that happened. So what does that mean now? What is it? Does whether something work or not, does it even matter if they're still Moors after? Now, if you're telling me that you have a laundry list of people who were Moors, they got their ass kicked, and now they're saying they're not Moors, then maybe you can, make claims about Moors doesn't work. But that one incident that Moor had isn't stopping them from being a Moor. You think we're cowards like Negro, black, colored, conscious people? We're not cowards like them. We stand up for our rights. Just like anybody else who has rights, they stand up for their rights. They're not letting nobody violate their rights, no matter what happens to them. But only Negro, black cowards that think they're conscious are going to talk crazy.
Wow. So, I mean, and I definitely see that. Now, it's another movement going on too, and you probably can break it down to me because I've been trying to follow it and catch it, but I don't understand it. So is there some type of Hebrew, Moorish movement going on where there's Hebrew Moors who are starting to, follow or maybe possibly been following this whole sovereign citizen doctrine or ideology?
Yes, they are. You have Hebrew Israelite Moorish Americans, and let me break that down. You have some people who you see with the feds and all that other stuff, and they claim their nationality as Moorish or whatever, but they also Hebrew Israelites, but you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at them. Then you got your other people who are Hebrew Israelites, but they also claim their nationality as Moors, but the way you look at them, you would think they were just Hebrew Israelites. Like a couple of videos I put up, people say, well, those people are Hebrew Israelites, and I'm like, well, I've done my research on them. They also Moors. They are also Moors. Like, if you can type that in online, you got it's a video on the Canaanland Moor, whatever his name is, because that pseudo guy from Canada, he did.
Right? Again, right? The pseudo guy from Canada. We say this is Canaanland. Why? Because by saying Canada, you're talking about a corporation. Go to the Security and Exchange Commission website, USSEC website. There'll be a part in there that says CIK number. This is for all you people who think Canada is a country, right? And want to try to tie Moors to Canada. We're not Canadian. Good try though. And we don't live in Canada. We're in Canaanland. Punch in the number 0000230098. 0000230098 in the section that says CIK number. Push enter and tell me what comes up. And you tell me, why would a country have their office in a district? Why would a country's head office be in a district? known as Washington. Why? Or a district known as Columbia. Why? If they're a country, shouldn't they have their own head office somewhere? Like, shouldn't the capital be where the head office of the so-called country is? Like, the capital should be the head office. Why is Washington, D.C. Canada's capital? Just go to the US SEC website, CIK number 0000230098. Now back to, you don't know whether if Hebrews are Moors and if Moors are Hebrews, and some say that they're Moors, but they're not really Moors, they're Hebrews because Hebrews aren't really Moors, and then the Moors have the Fez, but the Fez doesn't mean Hebrews, it means Moors. But then if you see Hebrew with a Fez, you can't tell whether he's a Hebrew or a Moor, because listen to this jackass. Why did we put up that video? Islam to the Moors, Islam to the Moors who study Hebrew. Islam to the Moors who study the Kabbalah. Islam to the Moors who know that their nationality can't be a religion. Which is why they proclaim their nationality. Their nationality can't be a language. Which is why they proclaim their nationality. Like again, we brought up the Sri Lankan. We know that, or he said, in Sri Lanka, we call ourselves Moors. In Sri Lanka, they call themselves Moors. Think about it. If in Sri Lanka, dark-skinned people call themselves Moors, and in Philippines, dark people call themselves Moro, and in France, dark people call themselves More. In Latin American countries, dark-skinned people call themselves Moreno and Morena. Clearly, conscious Negro black colored people are totally out to lunch and they're missing the point. So we just wanted to remind you, ustream.tv/channel/MHT online Kananta, KANAANTA. Right, again. Ustream, letter U, STREAM, .tv/channel/MHT online Kananta, KANAANTA. 7 p.m. tonight, we're going to be dealing with the rest of this BS that Javen Bullets put out. And we'll see, how deep their rabbit hole is with this propaganda campaign that they have. And if Moors need to go check it out, it's called Javen Bullets Face to Face with Lord Abba, Moorish Sovereignty, BIE, Minister Enkiwater. And it's posted on 6 Dynasty Media Face to Face. Streamed live October 15th, 2017. So this is fairly new. Islam to the Moors. Peace and love.
Everything that's, world events, things going on in the world, people concerned, people want an alternative view on what's going on in the world. They want to know something that they're not being told in the media, and that's our job. So, just to start off with,
y'all still listen to Polite and Ali Muhammad with his fake temple degree. Dr. Reggie, where's your doctorate? Men admitting they got weave in their Heru locks. Saw HOK dirty Moors from far like a Heru hawk. They got you like flock. stop listening to SETI. Africans and Arabs are Moors, said Dr. Ben Seti. Ali Melbay went over their head cause they don't research. This Moors but chill with Moors that make more t-shirts. Stateless black power, coward Frank Gary, YouTube snitch. So black power cracker highwaymen made him their bitch. Blame suffering on a continent, not colonial corporations. Troy Terrain at Star, SPLC operations. Selling you out like the Danga kings on African thrones. Rocks cried out and said America is where they buried pharaohs. Slapping your chrome at Bibles, never clap a cracker. Sell out Black News 102 scholars are ancestor backstabbers.
And I keep even on Facebook, social media, I hear brothers mention the Moors. And when brothers mention the Moors, people automatically say, oh my God, here we go with this ish again. Every time something happens that deals with the Crusades, Christianity, if they just mention Muslim, here come the Moors talking about.
Use Dr. Ben points, deflate these Negroes.
Came a time in 1506, after we lost power in Spain, the Africans ruled Spain from 711. We were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S.
Use Dr. Ben points, deflate these Negroes. Dry humping to whack reggae, conscious niggas got egos. Choosing to have no national name or profit. They claim you plagiarize the European niggas, stop it. Facts show they both studied manuscripts from Tibet. Drink this rubbing alcohol, kill the ticks from your mental Tourette's. Y'all listen to Shaka dressing like an Egyptian whack rapper. Wearing makeup letting me know that y'all actors. Frontin' cognizant, sucking straws, acting all fruity. Now he's a L, let's say he debate natural Tahuti. Claiming Khalid is a prophet now, but not when he's living. Said he's a Moor, you making him black, that's some Indian giving. Keeping the people dumbed down, not thinking. Keep pushing lies on active Moors, calling us sovereign citizens. Then call us oxymoron, cause Moors and moron. But they teach illusions and dreams of times foregone.
But the whole country, throughout the entire Ghana, that kind of baggy, referring to the heart, I mean, it is a kind of heart that is that comes along with a kind of prestige. And if you are wearing in Ghana, across the nation of Ghana, if where
nothing more can be said, pun intended. When you study wires mended to higher powers. Now you see lies from conscious guys, sellouts and agents using know thyself as a disguise, trying to make Taj look bad. He'll always laugh, cause new Moors with eyes open will speak on his behalf. Reggie Four Eyes has a Moor head on his family crest. Prophet Khalid said he's a more than dead, no RBG inquest. Polite nose calling himself black means you're dead. He said it and recorded it, but you ignoring it. Phil Valentine is an L, why don't you debate him? Know thy law contract lecture, HOK banner behind him. But they pretend to be stateless and have no clue. Your title's nationality and creed brought back by Drew. Keep playing yourself with ancestors, you'll have a problem. And put your own head in the noose and solve the Negro problem.
And why are they attacking the Moors? Because we've been giving the people the information that they need to hold back. And so they take us as enemies because we're exposing them as what exactly they are, COINTELPRO. And we don't have to say it. All we have to do is educate the people and it becomes absolutely obvious.